Welcome to Agoracom Small Cap Breaking News, your daily go-to source for the best small cap headlines for over 65 million investors since 2007. Today, we're diving into some really crucial stories. We're focusing on companies making big moves in, well, two key areas: securing critical resources, for future tech and defense, and also finding new wealth in mining.
Absolutely. We're looking at some genuine breakthroughs: aerospace materials, critical minerals, defense tech. It's all here. And our job, like always, is to sift through it all, pull out the really vital stuff, and help you quickly get why it matters. Not just what happened, but the so what for the market and for your own research.
Exactly. We'll keep that breaking news pace really hitting the hard numbers and the actionable insights for each company. Get ready for some direct deep dives into what's really driving these headlines today. All right, first up, big news from Focus Graphite. The headline is pretty striking. Focus Graphite achieves first aerospace validation with lac knife graphite in a successful hypersonic rocket launch. So this isn't just a test, right? It sounds like a major validation.
It really is.
Okay, so let's unpack it. What were the specific results, the numbers that really show why this is important?
Well, what's really fascinating here is that graphite from their main project, Lac Knife up in Quebec, it actually powered a Pluto aerospace rocket, the Dash 1 Flight 003, back on August 23rd. And this isn't just like a small test fire. It's real proof of performance under extreme conditions. Their Lac Knife graphite was used in what's called a near-net shaped nozzle. Think of it as a super precise, high-performance part for the rocket exhaust. And it handled temperatures over an incredible 3,000 degrees Celsius.
Wow, 3,000 C, yeah, that's astonishing.
Exactly. And the rocket itself, it hit new highs for flight time and range. So that directly validates the graphite's durability, its thermal resistance, it's performing right at the edge.
Okay, 3,000 degrees. That really says something about the material.
Yeah.
So beyond just moving away from EV batteries, what does hitting this kind of extreme performance marker mean for Focus Graphite?
Strategically, and for investors looking long term. Well, it's huge. Getting validated for hypersonic use like this gives Focus Graphite a massive premium, really. It puts them into a highly strategic market, very high barrier to entry, demands absolute reliability. We're not just talking about another potential customer base. This could mean long-term, high-margin contracts, stuff that's maybe less affected by the ups and downs you see in other graphite markets. Jason Latkowser, he's the VP of Corporate Development at Focus, he put it really well. He called it a landmark moment. He stressed that the results reaffirm that Lac Knife large and jumbo flake graphite possesses the qualities required for advanced high-performance applications in defense and aerospace. So for you, the listener, what this signals is a real strengthening of domestic supply chains for these critical minerals. It positions them as a key player, especially as North America looks for more self-sufficiency in advanced materials.
That makes sense, a real strategic foothold in advanced materials.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pivot now. From, cutting-edge aerospace back to gold. Some really compelling results coming out of BC's Golden Triangle.
Huh?
This is Goliath Resources, trading GOT on the TSSV. And the headline? Well, it's a mouthful, but it grabs you. Goliath intersects 10.62 grams per ton, gold over 22.82 meters, drilling maintains a 100% hit rate, 95% of holes contain visible gold, remains wide open, Sherbet discovery, Gold Digger property, Golden Triangle, BC.
Yeah, those are definitely eye-catching numbers.
Right, so walk us through the results. What are the most compelling drill numbers from this 2025 campaign at Sherbet?
Okay, absolutely. The big one, the standout, is drill hole GD25-337. It came back with 10.62 grams per ton gold over a very solid 22.82 meters. And inside that main intercept, you've got these two incredibly rich zones: 37.28 grams per ton gold over 3.36 meters, another hit of 36.11 grams per ton gold over 3.08 meters. Just fantastic grades. But what's truly remarkable for you listening is the consistency. They've drilled 65 holes so far in this campaign. They've hit substantial mineralization in every single one, 100% hit rate. And, maybe even more impressive, 95% of those holes show visible gold. You can actually see it.
95% visible gold.
Yeah. That kind of consistency, especially with visible gold, is pretty rare in grassroots exploration, the early discovery phase. It really speaks volumes about what they might have here.
Okay, a 100% hit rate, visible gold almost everywhere. That sounds amazing. But what does that consistency and the fact they say it's wide open tell us about the potential scale here and maybe the path forward for development in a famous area like the Golden Triangle?
Right, that's the key question, isn't it? Where could this go? The mineralization they've outlined so far covers about 1.8 square kilometers, which is, a pretty decent area. And
Right.
crucially, they're saying it's still open. Open in all directions, side to side, and also going deeper. Roger Rosmus, the founder and CEO of Goliath, he said, the more we drill at Shurbet, the better it gets. And he compared it to Eskay Creek, saying Shurbet is emerging as maybe the most important new high-grade gold discovery there since Eskay Creek. High praise.
That's a big comparison.
It is. And finding gold in different styles, these RIRG dikes and breccias, basically different geological settings for the gold that broadens the potential economic picture too. Look, early exploration always has risks, but hitting high grades this consistently, it definitely boosts the geological confidence as they move towards figuring out just how much gold might be there.
Okay, good context. Let's move from the Golden Triangle over to Vancouver Island. Another mining story, this time Nova Pacific Metals. They're on the CSE, symbol NVPC, their headline. Nova Pacific reports best drill results to date, including 5.1 grams per ton, AUQ over 11 meters. This is from their Laura VMS project. Yep, another strong set of results. So what are the specific numbers we should focus on here from Laura, and why are they calling these their best to date?
Okay, the key highlight is from a drill hole numbered NP25010. That one hit 11 meters, grading 5.1 grams per ton gold equivalent, or AUQ. And just quickly, AUQ basically combines the value of the gold with other metals present, like zinc in this case, to give you a better sense of the overall value per ton.
Right, so it's not just gold.
Exactly. That 5.1 AUEQ also translates to about 13% zinc equivalent, which is pretty good. And within that 11 meters, there was a really high-grade chunk. 1 meter grading 20.5 grams per ton AUEQ. That's over 50% zinc equivalent. Very rich. They also hit mineralization further down with another hole, NP25-009, which returned 5.35 meters at 1.8 grams per ton AUEQ. So it confirms the system continues at depth.
Okay, so stronger grades than they've seen before. In a VMS system, these volcanogenic massive sulfides, what does hitting grades like this imply for the project's economics? Especially as they head towards a resource estimate. Does it make it more resilient, maybe?
That's a great point. Finding consistent high grades in a VMS system is really encouraging. VMS deposits often contain multiple metals: gold, silver, copper, zinc, lead. Hitting strong grades like this suggests they could potentially have lower operating costs per ton down the line. You get better metal recovery, and you have multiple metals you can sell. So yes, it inherently makes the project potentially more robust, more resilient if commodity prices fluctuate. It definitely helps de-risk things for investors. The CEO, Sam Eskandari, he noted these results continue to reinforce the potential of the Laura VMS project. And big picture, they're aiming for their first mineral resource estimate in Q4 this year, 2025. That's a major milestone for valuing the project. Plus, they have 6 other known mineralized zones on the property besides this Coronation area, so there's significant potential upside for you to look into, as these VMS systems can often grow quite a bit with more exploration.
Right, district scale potential. Okay, shifting gears now to battery metals. Critical stuff. News from EMP Metals, trading EMPS on the CSE. The headline is pretty formal but important. MP Metals files NENEI 43-101 Resource Estimate Technical Report for its Viewfield and Mansour projects, Saskatchewan. This is about a big resource upgrade.
Yeah, significant step for them.
So let's get into the numbers. What are the key figures for their lithium resources in this report? And maybe explain the resource categories a bit.
Okay, this is definitely a big one for the North American lithium scene. EMP Metals has reported a huge 78.5% increase in their total lithium resources across these 2 projects, Viewfield and Mansour. They now have an indicated resource that's a category with a higher level of geological confidence of 931,038 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent, or LCE. The average grade is 141 milligrams per liter lithium. And then they have an inferred resource that's got a bit lower confidence, but still significant potential of 11,117,225 tons of LCE at an average grade of 112 milligrams per liter lithium.
LCE, that's the standard measure, right?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. A lithium carbonate equivalent. It's how the industry compares resources. And crucially, they also confirmed they can actually produce lithium brine from their first horizontal test well. That validates the potential for scalable production, likely using these new direct lithium extraction, or DLE, technologies. And that NI 43-101 report, that's the Canadian standard, it means independent experts reviewed the data, adding credibility, moving resources into that indicated category. That's a major confidence booster.
Okay, so a big chunk upgraded to indicated, plus proof they can actually produce the brine. That feels like a major de-risking step. What does that really signal about EMP's position, their competitive edge maybe in this race to supply lithium in North America?
It really solidifies their position, I think. It makes them one of the more advanced junior lithium players, particularly in Canada. They're leveraging Saskatchewan's geology, which is known to be good for this type of deposit. Plus, the province has existing infrastructure and is seen as mining friendly. That upgrade to indicated, like the independent geologist Trevor Els pointed out, it significantly boosts investor confidence. It makes the whole project much more credible for potential partners or financiers down the road. And you look at the bigger picture, global lithium demand is just expected to soar, right? EVs, grid storage. So EMP's projects could become really important domestic sources for you, helping North America meet that demand and rely less on overseas supplies. It's a foundational step toward potentially becoming a real producer in a super strategic sector.
Makes sense. Key step towards becoming a domestic supplier. All right, finally today, let's look at defense technology, a really interesting story involving Dragonfly, symbol DPRO, and the headline connects them directly to global events. Dragonfly aligns with Canada's $2 billion military aid commitment to Ukraine.
Yeah, very timely news.
So Canada's aid package has this big drone component.
Yeah.
What specifically does Dragonfly bring? What capabilities, what market position makes them a key potential player here? It's more than just being a drone company, right?
Right. And it really touches on how Canadian tech contributes globally, especially now. So Canada's announced $2 billion in aid. Within that, there's over $220 million specifically earmarked for drones, counter-drone systems, and electronic warfare tech. And Dragonfly, they've been around for 27 years. They're actually the world's oldest dual-use drone maker, meaning their tech has both civilian and military applications. That experience counts. Their product range is pretty comprehensive. They've got tactical systems, drones for intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance ISR with AI built in, systems to counter other drones, and even heavy lift drones for delivering medical supplies or other cargo. These are all capabilities that have proven absolutely critical in the Ukraine conflict. So their established track record and their versatile field-tested systems, that's really key.
Okay, so they have the right tech and the experience, but this alignment with a major national commitment, how does that shape Dragonfly's longer-term strategy? Their positioning in the global defense and maybe even humanitarian tech world.
Exactly. It's not just about filling an immediate order. Connecting to this larger picture, it really highlights Dragonfly's role in Canada's contribution to, well, NATO-aligned defense efforts and also humanitarian aid. Their CEO, Cameron Schell, he said, "We are proud and honored as a Canadian technology leader that is capable of delivering advanced drone and counter-drone systems that make a tangible difference." So for you listening, what this means is the company is really cementing its reputation. It's becoming seen as a trusted supplier of these critical drone capabilities. They're aligning with this growing international demand for flexible, proven solutions needed for both military situations and, importantly, civilian recovery efforts afterwards. It's about establishing a long-term presence in this rapidly changing defense and humanitarian space and really showcasing Canadian tech leadership on a global stage.
Wow. Okay, what a packed deep dive today. From hypersonic rocket materials and huge gold hits in BC to major lithium resource upgrades in Saskatchewan and defense drones linked to global aid. These small cap companies are definitely making waves. They're innovating and showing real results.
They really are. And each story, highlights how specific concrete results, whether it's a fantastic drill hole, a big resource increase, or successful tech validation, can really be game changers for a company's growth potential. These are the kinds of details, the hard numbers, the strategic implications that you, as a sharp investor or just someone wanting to learn, can use to figure out your next steps and really understand these dynamic sectors better.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this breaking news session, what's a final provocative thought for our listeners to chew on?
Maybe consider this. Look at how these individual company stories, even though they're in the small cap space, add up. Collectively, they represent this broader, really powerful shift happening right now. It's this big push towards securing essential domestic supply chains, advancing strategic technologies, things that are actively reshaping global economics and national security. It's kind of a potent reminder, isn't it, that sometimes the biggest impacts, the most significant changes, they start with these really focused, targeted innovations from companies that might just be hitting their stride now. So what opportunities might these big trends and the specific breakthroughs we talked about today unlock for you in the years ahead? And, how might they reshape the world we live in?